KTXS sports reporter Noah Gross is in Hawley tonight. Noah, two real heavyweights going at it.
Indeed they did, Evan. Keep in mind, both these teams coming off historic 2019, the best season in school history for both Hawley and Hamlin. Fast forward now to 2021, only 6 mid-majors that were in 2019 are also in 2021. If you see somebody my size walking around campus, you're probably not going to blink twice. But if you see somebody a little bit taller, players on the sidelines do not share water bottles, as that's usually very commonplace. I'm all right. I actually got my own today. Reggie Miller, one of the seniors on this team, tweeted a night ago that the team was not even going to work out until Tanner was introduced as head coach, and today he got his wish. Congratulations on the win, Jackson. Well, if they're living on their defense and he scores 3 touchdowns, watch out, everybody in Class 2A. This is a dangerous Hamlin Pied Pipers team, and next week they finally get to come back home against the Anson Tigers. So let's play a little game. Who wants to play Abilene Christian in 2020? This team has been through so much. They've been counted out by so many, and the only people that really seem to believe in them is themselves and, of course, this Jim Ned faithful. A fall of 200 feet. Let's put that in perspective. That's about 67 yards, so most of a 100-yard football field. So the workouts they would be getting right here at the gym are almost the same as the workouts they are now. But their remaining slate is a bit daunting, so let's check out their schedule. The Lions, of course, play Friday night, then next Wednesday. Last night, around 3 a.m., the fire alarm in the Stanford softball team's hotel went off. After about 45 minutes, they decided to switch to a whole different hotel. That is not ideal for a night of sleep before your first ever appearance in a state championship game, but clearly it did not affect them this evening.
There are things that go on with us that we don't bring to our families because it would be too much.
1. There is one high school head football coach of the nearly 70 teams in our area that is black. Bobby Campbell at Ranger.
Having a black head coach, that's like a huge step in today's society because there's not many of them.
One of Jashari Houston's assistant coaches, Jarrell Badon, is black. Badon is a former Abilene High and ACU football player who is now the co-offensive coordinator for the Eagles. He knows there may not be a lot of black coaches, but he remains focused.
I mean, it's always in the back of your mind, but you don't want to have that influence on how you coach kids. I think it comes down to just the fairness and love of what we can give the kids, not just by our race or by our color.
Last year, there was another black head coach in the Big Country, Aaron Ashford at Class 1A Trent. Ashford has also coached at some other small schools, Paint Creek and Throckmorton.
We've all experienced Jim Crow in this profession. We've experienced the unfairness.
Ashford and Badon alike don't want coaches hired just because they're black, but they simply want fairness.
Give the men and women the opportunities to interview, come back for that second, third interview, to meet the parents, to meet the athletes, and to, we need that sincere opportunity.
It's got to be something that you're aware of as an administrator, and moving forward have to be fair.
The phenomenon of a low number of coaches being black is not just a problem at the high school level. As of March in the NFL, just 3 of the 32 head coaches were black. That's good for 9%. In Division I college football, 13 of the 130 head coaches are black. But here in the Big Country, leveling the playing field could be even more important.
It's a small town and everybody knows everybody. So seeing a black head coach or more black assistant coaches, that'll make this city really appreciate that.
And the benefits of having a black head coach run deeper than just simply being fair.
There's a perspective that our culture brings that we can bring to other students that they haven't, that they may not have had before.
For black players, seeing a black coach, that can provide inspiration to enter the field themselves.
Those guys seeing, oh, well, if I want to take that avenue, I can do those same steps. I can take the avenue he took, or whoever it may be.
Even with having to face some difficulties, the coaches we talk to aren't angry, just ready for change.
We're progressing in that area, but there's, like I said, there's a lot of room to grow into.
We're not disgruntled, but this is just something that that exists, and you have to know it exists.
And how to start that change, well, that can come from anywhere.
It doesn't matter if you're Coach Samples at Duncanville or if you're me at 1A Trent. You hope that your actions will make a difference in one person, and that will spread.
Just fighting for their chance to teach the next generation. Noah Gross, KTXS Sports.
KTXS reporter Noah Gross live at Shotwell Stadium with more on this developing story. Noah?
Yeah, good evening. Well, so behind me, Shotwell Stadium, of course, the biggest stadium in the big country. Friday nights in the fall, a bunch of student athletes are playing down in the field in front of packed crowds. Those are all public school students, but this piece of legislation could change that.
Really, I play everywhere. My favorite position is center mid, just right in the middle.
Rivers Rodriguez is 16, a standout soccer player, and homeschooled by his parents.
She's the teacher, I'm the principal.
David and Francisca Rodriguez homeschool all 6 of their kids.
Rivers is my oldest, he's 16, and Grace is the youngest, 4.
And all 6 are very involved in athletics.
We love the thrill of competition. We just love what you learn through the success and failure.
But their kids and other homeschooled students across the state are not able to compete in UIL extracurriculars. They play with club teams.
Not being able to expose them to all levels of competition hinders them in a lot of ways.
Now a bill is at the state capitol that would allow homeschooled students to participate in UIL extracurriculars, but there's a lot of opposition. Are you opposed to the bill?
Yes.
AISD Superintendent Dr. David Young tells us that to participate in UIL activities with AISD, a student has to be with them for 5 periods in the school day. But it's not like that everywhere.
What if district down the road's policy is they only have to be there for 1 period? You know, that's an inequitable paradigm.
And for coaches, they don't think it's fair to their students. Can you tell me why you're against this bill?
You know, when you're homeschooled, you're not subject to the same rigor that a student in public education is, the same schedule, the same standards.
There's also a fear of misuse of the system.
And if homeschool students, because they can finish school a little sooner during the day, can go do those things, I don't think that's cheating at all.
I don't think that people want to pass this law because they want to be able to abuse the system. But unfortunately, I feel like we would start a fire that we couldn't put out.
And to be clear, not all homeschool families want this bill. There's some disagreement within that community as well. And an update on the bill, it has officially passed through the House and is currently in the Senate Education Committee in Austin. Zoe Flores has made a pretty good impression on those around her.
Everything she does is to make the rest of us better. So, I mean, as a person, you couldn't ask for a better person.
The Rotan Jr. keeps herself rather busy.
I participate in FFA, I show pigs, play volleyball, I run track, run cross country, I do tennis, I do cheer.
Oh, and she's 3rd in her class with a 3.8 GPA.
I like to only have 90s, so I set myself at a pretty high standard.
So if all that was not enough, Zoe also plays softball, but this year Rotan didn't have enough players to form a team. So
I joined the baseball team.
Without fail, the teams we play look out and they see this little 5'0" girl out there, and they're going, oh my gosh. And then she'll make a catch, or she'll make a throw, or just make a routine play, and they're like, wow.
At first, it was a little hard. I mean, I spent a few days, getting pretty frustrated with it. But, I mean, as I've gone on, I've definitely relaxed a lot more.
Zoe has been starting for the Yellowhammers alongside her brother. And don't think they're not comparing stats.
It's more of a, we argue and then we laugh about it. And then, like, I'll say something to her and she'll say something back.
We're very competitive, so everything we do, we compete a lot, I like that, though.
For someone who wasn't even expecting to be on the baseball team, her presence is felt.
I really hope that they have a softball team next year, but I'm not going to be tremendously disappointed if they don't. Let's put it that way.
She's the smallest one on the team. She has the biggest heart and she never quits. That's the one thing I love about her.
And Zoe's message to any other girls thinking about playing baseball:
do it. Just go for it. Don't let anything hold you back.
And nothing is holding her back. Noah Gross, KTXS Sports.